the screen.
So, Daniel, are you excited for the new After Earth movie?
Yeah, I'm expecting to be good with Will Smith and all, you know?
Yeah. Maybe this will be the movie that digs M. Night Shyamalan out of that deep, deep rut that he's in.
Oh, man, I hope so, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait.
let's bring this guy with us.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, bro.
Hey, yeah, we're going to go see the
No,
new...
I'm
we're
going to see Pacific Rim. What's
No,
going
you're
on?
that doesn't come out until July.
What's your name, Jeff? Okay.
Hey, guys, I'm Subject Matter.
Oh, and I'm Daniel.
And today we're going to be reviewing the new Will Smith movie, After Earth.
Yeah.
So, is this movie another one of M. Night Shyamalan's screw-ups, or is it one that will finally get him out of the ditch? Well, it doesn't quite... Well, it helps him climb up out of the ditch, but it doesn't quite get him out.
I'd say he's still stuck down in there.
Kind of, with a couple of feet up, but not very much. He's going to need something like 6 cents or better to raise him up all the way.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not here to talk about his downfall. At least that would make of a good video, but we're here to review After Earth. So that's what we're going to review. So, let's start off with what we liked and what we didn't like. Daniel, what did you like?
What I like? Okay. Well, I went into the theater with high expectations of how this movie would come out, and I'll admit, I was not disappointed. Like, it really did kind of meet my expectations to a certain point. I thought it was a little weird at the point, like, when they started out, I thought it kind of looked like an 80s Star Trek movie with their weird gray suits.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
With Jaden Smith running with all those guys, I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. But, after about 10, 15 minutes, whenever they finally started heading toward Earth, it actually kind of got good. Will Smith didn't get any action. He did not pull out his sword once, which was stupid.
Well, he did once, but it was just kind of a flashback video.
Right, yes, where he cut off the head of that alien.
What did happen, though, was that his bone split, just kind of boot, and his artery died. So, basically, his subplot was trying to keep a plastic tube in his thigh so it doesn't bleed out.
By the way, do and da both mean broke.
Yes. So, what I liked about it was, it's kind of boring, but then when the third act starts, it kind of starts picking up.
Yeah.
And, there's this kind of strange philosophy they have about if you conquer... so, Earth is this dangerous place. They don't really explain why they left, and that really annoyed me. But it's been up 1,000 years, the animals have evolved, snakes are now flying squirrels, it's just a mess. So, and when the humans went to this planet to survive, there were aliens there, and the aliens didn't really like them being there. So they made these creatures that would smell the fear of humans. I know, sounds oddly familiar to that movie Arnold Schwarzenegger made about 20 or 30 years ago.
What movie was that?
It was the Predator movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because
okay.
with the Predators and that, instead of smelling fear, they could see the fear. But anyway, so in that philosophy, it's kind of weird if you conquer these creatures that the aliens make. If you know how to conquer your fear, then they can't smell you. But see, the strange thing about that philosophy is that these are giant, huge monsters trying to kill you. It's going to be kind of... you have to kind of be a Vulcan not to let something like that affect you.
Vulcan.
Yeah. Go find a shirt like that. It's awesome. So, the philosophy that if you conquer your fear, then these things won't kill you.
They can smell your fear. So if you have no fear, they can't see you, / smell you, / hear you, / anything that has to do with anything with you.
Yeah. So, and these things are blind, so it's kind of unfair if the guy conquers his fear and the monster is just kind of sitting there.
I agree. I think what they should have done was instead of making Will Smith and later on in the movie Jaden Smith have no fear, which I think was totally stupid, they should have actually made them have fear, but instead they're like really the only ones who can actually defeat the monsters. Because even if, like, because I mean, that's like, that'd be like if an invisible dude came in here and killed us right now. What advantage, like, that was just stupid. That's kind of lame and wussy-like, I guess. I think it would have been cool if he was, like, the only skilled person enough to actually kill the monster. That would have been awesome. And the monster had a fair enough advantage to see him and know where he was. Because, I mean, you know, at the end, Jaden Smith's just cutting off the monster's legs, like, and the monster can't see him, so... Okay.
Yeah, so, but enough about that stuff. How did the overall movie and the plot and the overall movie work out? It worked out okay. I mean, there could have been a couple of plot holes that could have been filled, and a couple of filler scenes that
way too many filler scenes.
could have been. Yeah, a lot of filler scenes. Just if you're late to this movie, you're not missing anything because
really.
you basically have the premise they said the premise in the trailer, so it's not really going to matter that much.
All you know is that little Takai, Jaden Smith, has daddy issues, and daddy has daddy issues.
Yes.
So
it runs in the family. Each son has an issue with their dad. Actually, it's more or less the cliche father-son.
It's the same tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast reference, yes.
So anyway, yeah. First and second act, you could take it or leave it. The third act, that's when, like I said, action starts kicking up. We know the monster's alive for sure, and it's just around, you see these...
Well, okay, here's my question. Why did they bring the monster with them to the alien world? They're heading to go someplace to kill some monsters, I guess, save some people. And in order to do this, what they do is they bring a deadly monster with them that, if unleashed, could destroy everyone.
Actually, I think the thing about that was that they were taking that thing to... Actually, no, I think the entire reason why they're on the ship in the first place is because they're taking this monster to some training camp so other rangers could learn how to control their fear like Will Smith did. Now, one of the things... Now, this is just kind of a little quick backtrack. One of the things that I did not understand is that at the beginning, when the ship breaks apart, you see Will Smith fly out of the ship. I mean, it just kind of... What? Okay, he's dead. Why didn't you just knock him out and something like that? I mean, I would have had no problem if they knocked him out or something because, yeah, I mean... How is Jaden Smith supposed to live on a planet where everything's trying to kill him? Even the leeches. I mean, the leeches have it out for Jaden Smith.
They do.
Yes.
Sucking his blood.
Mm-hmm. And puts a venom in it that kind of makes him...
Okay, that too.
Yeah, so, yeah. So, Will Smith, he should have died when he flew out of the ship.
Statistically, like, we didn't want him to die. That's just what should have happened.
Yeah, I mean,
because he flew out.
Yeah, and then when the ship finally actually crashes, Jaden Smith finds him in the lower decks.
Right.
I mean,
that makes sense.
You flew out of the ship. Did some kind of magical cord just get you and pull you back?
If it did, that wasn't in the movie.
Yeah. I mean,
so
just him not showing all his magic.
You know, that's Will Smith for you. Surviving everything.
Mm-hmm.
Can't die.
Yeah.
Even when he has a broken leg and separated artery.
Yeah. Yeah. But except, see, if it would have been cooler if they actually had Will Smith go out and try to find the thing, and it could have just been some kind of pilot, scientist, comic relief guy staying behind and telling him where to go, and just, yeah.
Yeah, if they'd flown that guy out of the ship, rather than, like, Will Smith had to go tell Jaden Smith to wear his mask, blah, 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 blah. Will Smith could have easily stayed in the pilot's cockpit and had some red shirt go out there and tell Jaden Smith to breathe, and then he sucks out of the ship. That would have been better.
If you get that reference, you automatically earn 10 points.
Brownie points, guys.
Yeah. And then they also have this kind of funny way of having Will Smith calm down Jaden Smith. It just, whenever Jaden Smith gets real agitated, it's like some kind of football pose where
Tim Tebow.
hey, take a knee, take a knee, take a knee, take a
That's what
knee,
he was constantly saying. Take a knee!
take a knee.
So what Will Jaden Smith would do is he would literally get down on one knee and then get up, and he was okay.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
all
so-
well. I'm going to start doing that from now on, actually. What? Who ate all the chips? What is this? Son of a nutcracker, this is total BS! I can't...
Nail! Take a nail!
Alright, we're good.
So yeah, they had that real funny way of calming down your emotions. I would usually just do it with a neck pinch.
Neck
But-
pinch.
Yeah. We are making way too many Star Trek
Way
references.
too many.
We kind of need to lay off.
Another thing, at the beginning, Will Smith has broken legs, and he says, alright, he says to his son, Takai, Jaden, I'm going to start going by character names.
Yeah.
Takai, he tells him, he says, alright, you need to go through that deadly jungle, face unkillable monsters, which you've had no experience doing, and then retrieve a little piece of device so that we can contact our friends. And he hands him this little tube. He says, "Here, take my sword." And this is super cool. She pushes a button and blades come out, and that's awesome. And that's how he kills monsters. He loses his sword later on because he's an idiot. He leaves it in a cave or something for no reason. And then he gets to the ship, and he finds this other sword. These things are just like laying around, like everyone's got one. And he finds this one just off some dead guy's body, and this one's got like 50 different things it can do. And so at the beginning, Will Smith was like, "Here, take my crappy sword and go kill some monsters that you've never dealt with before."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and see, these blades, they're not like these blades.
It's like Darth Maul, basically. Darth Maul, but not a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Actual
The,
sword.
the blades that come out are like your kind. You know those little things with the needles in them that when you put your hand on them, that imprint of your hand comes out.
Mhm.
Well, this is kind of like what these are, except they're imprints of swords.
Right.
And then when Jaden Smith, Takai, gets that new one, he can change it to a variety of things like hooks,
He's got like
swords.
a can opener coming out,
Yeah.
corkscrew.
Yeah.
And this is like a Swiss Army knife sword is basically what it is. It's pretty tight. It's not really a corkscrew.
Yeah, see, they don't have conventional buttons. They just kind of move their thumbs a certain way. And
Yeah.
Shh-da.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Actually, I thought that was really stupid. Because, I mean, his dad gives him his crappy sword. And there were probably 50 other dead bodies laying around with different types that were way better.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really stupid.
One of the
The
things.
way they did that.
Yeah. It's very stupid.
Oh, here's another thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, this will just be real quick. I have to talk to the production manager, designer guy who made all the sets and stuff. Why did you make it so kind of mix of technology and nature? I didn't really understand that because on one side of the ship you got all this technological stuff, and the buttons look like a bunch of frozen rain. Kind of
Three-dimensional.
Yeah, three-dimensional rain stuff rising, and then you have leaves as a door to your most dangerous creature.
That was weird.
Why you need steel, iron, metal, tough as nails door. In
They're
fact,
like-
melt down a bunch of nails and make it that door.
They're like, we got a really dangerous monster on this ship. We have a bunch of professional fighters. Let's put a piece of cloth as our doorway to every single door on the ship. There you go.
Yeah, let's make it to where another door is just a bunch of plastic that retracts.
Mhm. And on that note, what I was about to say actually goes with what you're saying. They have two ends of the ship, the front of the ship and the back of the ship. Each end has a little communicator that they need, and this communicator, it's a beacon. It sends out a beacon to get help. Well, they have one on this side of the ship and one on this side of the ship, and the one on this side of the ship is where Jaden and Will are, and theirs is broken, and the one down here is perfectly fine. They both went through the same crash, but this one doesn't have a scratch on it. This one's completely beat up. My question is, with all this technology that they have, their leaf doors, their
Plastic,
cool, like
recurring
three-dimensional
doors.
buttons, like they could not protect their one hope of survival. There was no way to repair it. Will Smith, the ultimate fighter of the entire army, cannot fix a busted beacon. Instead, he has to send his son through deadly, traumatic monsters to find their one hope of survival. Like, what?
Actually, this movie, it kind of has a fetish with breaking stuff, because Will Smith's sword breaks, his breathing things break, their one beacon of hope to survive breaks.
His own legs broke, guys.
Yeah, his leg broke.
My gosh.
And at the beginning of when you find out Will Smith broke his leg, he said, "I have broken both my legs." But it shows that only one leg was broken.
It's true.
So you can't tell. I mean, I can understand if he was in shock and thought that both his legs were broken, but
honestly, I mean,
don't say both your legs are broken.
Doesn't Will Smith break a bone in every single movie he's been in? Like iRobot, I'm pretty sure he broke, like, his arm was cut off
instead of Hancock, because he's kind of indestructible, because he's a Superman in Hancock, just minus the likable awesomeness.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, you know, he sends his son out there. His son's, like, about to die. His son has aced every single test for the Ranger program. He is supposed to be just as good as his father. His father's the ultimate Ranger. No one has defeated him. Nothing can beat his father, because his father is fearless. And Will Smith is his son. Not Will Smith. Jaden Smith. Takai is his son. But the problem is that whenever he actually gets out on the field, the moment he sees, like, an evolved monkey, he starts throwing rocks at it and screaming at it. And his father is sitting right there saying, "Don't do anything." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, go away!" It's freaking stupid. I'm like...
I mean, you don't throw rocks at monkeys, no matter how dangerous and evolved they are.
Right. I mean, I want to throw a rock at a monkey right now.
I want to throw a rock at M. Night Shyamalan for making up something like that. I mean, you don't throw... I mean... Actually, the story was by Will Smith.
Right, the story was written by Will Smith.
So I can't really blame Shyamalan for that much. Will, you're telling your son in the movie to not throw rocks at monkeys, yet you put it in the script.
Yeah.
That he throws rocks at monkeys.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Another thing, when Jaden first gets out there, Takai, not Jaden, his name is Takai. When Takai first gets out there on this planet, on Earth, and all these monsters are around, you may have noticed this, he's terrible. He can't do anything, which I just said. He cannot do anything. Yeah. And then his dad says, "All right, abort mission, come back." And he's like, "No, Daddy, I can do it!" And he starts screaming at his dad, and then all of a sudden he jumps off a freaking cliff. And now he's like a professional fighter, can kill everything that comes in his path.
And also becomes another flying squirrel.
Yeah, he can fly, and that's like cool. Which the jumping off the cliff scene was actually super cool. Yeah. Like, I was like, whoa! And so, I mean, I thought that was really cool. But, like, I mean, it didn't make any sense. He goes from no experience... Okay, he goes from plenty of experience and actually learning to no experience to screaming at his dad, and then 100% complete experience of fighting monsters and killing bad things.
Yeah.
We missed something.
And so before he yells at his dad and dives off the cliff, he can't fight a darn thing. But then after he jumps off the cliff, did shock? I mean, jumping off a cliff, it must be shocking.
Yeah. Holy crap! I just jumped off a cliff. What am I doing?
And I have no idea how to use this suit. So how am I supposed to know how these things work?
Exactly.
I mean, at the beginning of the movie, he says, "Dad, my suit is turning black. I like it."
Right.
He doesn't. But what's it doing? But you don't know why it's turning colors, yet you know how to fly with it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. It's just, man, that was... Overall, it was actually a good movie.
Yeah.
Simply, I know we've been talking bad about it, but it was good because there was a lot of action in there.
Yeah, the final fight with Takai and the monster, that's basically the main villain of the entire movie. That fight's awesome because you just see Jaden Smith, Takai, just kind of stand there and just slicing away at the monster and stuff. And this blade, it could even come in half.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
I like it. I
Yes,
would like to have one of those.
I mean, you can
Personally.
turn it into a big knife, a small knife, a thing that you can hang on. I mean, this thing just has millions and millions of settings.
It was pretty cool. His blades were awesome. The action was pretty awesome. The monster, okay, I will give them due respect. They did great with special effects. The ships looked awesome. The monsters looked awesome. All the creatures looked awesome.
Yes, the monkeys looked better than I anticipated.
The acting was not that bad.
But
I
then
was
again,
not
Will
disappointed.
Will Smith being kind of like a robot, I mean, that doesn't really take an Oscar to do.
No, that's true. Will Smith, I don't know. I don't think they did that right, because, I mean, everyone knows the ultimate emotion is love, and he sent his own son out there to die, basically. Suicide mission, and yet when his son is in mortal danger, he never really shows a sign of fear. Maybe once he jumps, and that's it. He jumps in his seat. But he doesn't actually ever show fear, which he's supposed to be fearless, I know, but I mean, this is his son, for crying out loud. He should feel a little fear that his son might die.
And he could be feeling fear, and we just don't see it. He could just be...
Yeah, but that's the thing with movies. They have to show it.
Yeah.
If they don't show it, it didn't happen. That's the thing about movies.
Yeah. So, overall, the score of this movie, it has its faults, but it's still a good buy. And don't listen to the critics on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, unless... Just don't...
Critics are hating on this movie.
It's a 12, 13, 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the viewers are giving it an 82%. Listen to the viewers, because they're not paid to criticize movies.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I say, go watch the movie and enjoy it, and I would actually even buy the movie on DVD, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would buy it maybe once it went down to $15. I wouldn't buy it as soon as it came out. But, it's worth watching. It's really, there's not hardly any humor in it. The funny part, I thought, was whenever he was sitting in that bird's nest and that little baby bird was trying to eat him, and he was like, "Get off me." But that was just about it. There was really no humor in it, so if you're more of a comedy kind of person, you only like comedy, don't watch this movie. If you like action, you should probably watch this movie. But I'm actually honestly waiting for it to come out on DVD so I can buy it, because it was good.
It's a nice step up from M. Night Shyamalan ever since his fatal strike to the head with that last Airbender movie. Did you ever see that?
No, I decided not to waste my money.
Then don't. You are a better person for it. You will die a happy man. Because that has nothing but bad actors, bad dialogue, just bad everything. The only characters I liked in that was the uncle and Zuko.
Right. Well, that's a rabbit trail. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, anyway, the movie, I give it a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, 7 would be... 7 would be my score, too.
7.
It's not Bad Girls terrible, but it's also not it's also not Oscar-winning good. It's just kind of in between, it may use cliches, but,
Put it this way, my mind was not blown, but I was not disappointed.
Yeah, my mind was not. Yeah, I didn't feel underwhelmed. I actually kind of felt, I didn't really feel surprised that it wasn't bad, yet it wasn't just mind-blowing, because usually those critics on Rotten Tomatoes, they underrate or overrate something a lot. Like Signs, that was an overrated movie. The plot holes in that just kind of... The aliens invaded a planet full of water when
That was more of a horror movie than anything.
Yeah, but...
They were just trying to scare you.
Yeah, but still undeniably bad logic. When aliens invade a planet that is mostly covered in their acid. Well, this has been Subject Matter.
And me.
And go see After Earth.
Go watch it.
It's a good buy.